On the news, troops foil planned attack in Plateau community, arrest one bandit. Presidency fires back at coalition's 2027 ambition, urges them to prepare for the 2031 election. Level 6 review of global governance structure and equity for developing nations at 17th BRICS Summit. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Atikun. We begin with security, where the Nigerian Army says troops in Plateau State have arrested the suspected bandits planning to mount an attack in the Gashish district of Barkin Ladi local government area. This was disclosed in a statement by the spokesman for Operation Safe Haven, Major Samson Zakom, who revealed the suspect, who was in an ambush position along the Kafi Abu Rakwok Road, was intercepted on Sunday night. The troops recovered a fabricated AK-47 rifle, an AK-47 magazine, and 30 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition from the suspect, who is currently in custody for further investigation and action. Major Zakom urged the public to continually furnish troops with actionable information to carry out operations successfully, while also addressing the challenge of proliferation of arms. And in politics, the presidency has counseled members of the coalition to channel their efforts towards the 2031 general election rather than divert energy towards discussions on President Bola Tinubu's prospective second term in 2027. The special advisor to the president on media and communications, Sunday Dare, spoke in Abuja on Saturday while reacting to concerns raised on the potential of the coalition group wresting power from the All Progressives Congress-led government. Dare said none of those in the coalition has the president's democratic credentials, considering what his government has achieved in the last 2 years. Describing the new coalition as a group of opportunistic and disgruntled politicians, Dare said the presidency already rests with the region rightfully due. Well, let's get thoughts on the presidency's response to the opposition leaders' coalition. Political affairs analyst Muyiwa Akintude joins me on the news. Thank you for your time, Mr. Akintude. Now, what are your thoughts on the presidency's statement to the coalition who have adopted the African Democratic Congress, ADC, to challenge the ruling APC in 2027?
Well, thank you. The first thing I want to clarify is that we seem to have collapsed the communication structure. And what I mean by that is that there is supposed to be a spokesperson for the government, or spokesperson for the government, and there's supposed to be a spokesperson for the governing party or a political party. When I hear things from people who are working for government, for the president, like you mentioned, like Solidarity, talking about politics is quite unfortunate. But I won't say that the president wears two caps. He wears the cap of the president of the country, who is supposed to be father to every Nigerian, whether they belong to his party or not, whether they voted for him or not. He also wears the cap of a member, in fact, national leader. That's what he was before he became president. National leader of the political party, APC. So you will never know when he's having a flip from being a statesman or being a politician. I believe he was speaking like a politician. And as a politician, he was at his right to say that the opposition should plan for 2031. To have said that, I mean, it's not, the only thing that I would disagree with is that if he used his office as president to ensure that there is no level playing field for the other political parties, then I would be worried. But if he's just saying that as a politician, I don't think that we should worry. The worry should be to the opposition, the ADC, and they should take it as a challenge that they really want to put their hands together to challenge the incumbent president in the next election. And how would they do that? You can find that most of the people that are constituting APC, I mean, I'm talking about the prominent people, are people that you can actually call disgruntled politicians. Politicians who have, I mean, look at, take somebody like Rotimi Amici, who since 1999 had always been in government. First as Speaker, Labour State House of Assembly for 2 terms, then governor for 2 terms in Labour State, then minister for 8 years. I mean, this is the only time that is out of government since 1999, since 25 years or so ago. So if I call him a disgruntled politician, I'm correct. Now he's telling us that he's hungry. And then you also find people like El-Rufai, who until he couldn't get his ministerial appointment sailed through, he was a member of the APC and he was good with the president. And suddenly, because he could not become a minister, now he's opposed to him. Many of them have lost out. Unquestionably lost out in Osun State. And so they are seeking relevance. But what they need to do is to say, even if we are seeking relevance, let's put our house in order. How many people are willing to be presidential candidate in the ADC? We started hearing Peter Obi saying I will do only 1 term. Atiku saying I will do only 1 term. They are not even there yet. The party is not even well coupled together yet. And yet they are talking about who is going to be presidential candidate or whatever. And then the other thing is that politics is a long-term thing. You don't just wake up 2 years to the election and begin to form a political coalition and think that you are going to make it. I mean, this is a marathon. It's not a short distance race. That's my thought on this.
Now, judging from the members that make up the leadership of the ADC, do you think that they are a match for the APC? And do you foresee more politicians joining the ADC in the coming months?
Well, you know, politics is very fluid. You can never say what will happen. That's why they say 24 hours is a long time in politics. I mean, which means that 24 hours to the election, you can never tell who is going to win. I mean, we've had this happen several times. The one I will very easily recall was 1991, when Babangida was experimenting with politics of the Third Republic, so-called Third Republic. And on the eve of the election, governorship election in Lagos State, governorship and House of Assembly election in Lagos State, people did not know whether it was SDP or NRC they would vote for. Until that eve, and Lateef Jakonde, former governor of Lagos State, and other politicians like Yar'Adua and co. were detained in Ekpete, and political leaders in the party went to see him and said, how do we vote? They were ordered by Jakonde to vote when it comes to governorship in protest because the candidate of SDP was not the candidate of Jakonde group. So in protest, vote for NRC. That's how Otedola became governor. But when you are voting for House of Assembly, vote for our party, SDP. You recall that in that era, short as it was 3 months, Otedola of NRC had only 4 members in a 40-member House of Assembly Lagos State. That decision was made within less than 24 hours to the election. So it's always very difficult to, but looking at it very clearly, to go back to your question, is that what I would expect the opposition to do is to begin to now articulate what the issues they are going to canvass will be, rather than spending their energy on maybe responding to what the ruling party is doing. They begin to, I mean, Nigerians are really, a lot of, if you do an opinion poll, a lot of people are not happy with this government. No matter how you try to rationalize it, if a man is hungry, you can't begin to tell him what he needs at that point is food, not words or anything. So they can galvanize support from there if they are able to realize that it's not about fighting APC at this stage. Yes, you fight APC, but articulate your points. Let people know what you're going to do. Let people know how it's going to be better for the citizens when you become when you get to office in 2027. I mean, so they have a lot of work to do. Just like I wish them well, because we need opposition, very strong opposition. It appears as if we never had opposition again, because when everybody was leaving PDP, even opposition political party, it was concerning, and we seem not to be having opposition political parties anymore. So I wish they can realize that they need to work hard and work very hard to ensure this is a sitting government. This is a government that has the power. So they need to work hard.
Mr. Muyiwa Akintunde, it's always a pleasure having you with us. Thank you very much for sharing your insights. Moving on, the National Assembly has disclosed that the report on the ongoing constitution review across the country will be transmitted to the 36 state houses of assemblies before December 2025, in line with its design and timetable. Senate leader And Senate leader of the Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, made this known at the conclusion of the two-day zonal public hearing on the review of the 1999 Constitution held in Lagos. Addressing the stakeholders at the public hearing, which drew final close on Saturday, Bamidele, who was supported by committee members, asserted that part of the timetable set for the body is to have final notifications before the end of the year and transmit the report to all state assemblies. The upper chamber charged all stakeholders with special requests to engage and lobby their state assemblies, noting that it cannot alone successfully review the Constitution without their approval.
The essence of what we have done here yesterday and today is to give Nigerians a chance to participate so that their elected legislators will not just sit down in Abuja, trying to tamper with the Constitution. And our founding fathers and those who wrote our Constitution also did it in such a way that it would be difficult for anybody or group of people to just wake up one morning and say we want to change this Constitution. That's why we must go through all of these processes, and that's why even when we finally vote on all these bills in Abuja, we still need at least 2/3 of the State Houses of Assembly to agree with what we have done before it can become an amendment. The whole essence is to ensure that our Constitution, which is the ground norm and the most, sacrosanct law that we have in the land, is not changed or changeable, at will, without the consensus, popular consensus of Nigerians through their elected representatives. So that's what we have done. So it's not just a jamboree, it's not just a routine, and I want to assure you something had always come out of it, and something meaningful will also come out of this in terms of the amendments that will be made. We are looking forward to addressing a lot of issues. Issues raised by Nigerian women, issues raised by Nigerian youth, issues raised by professional bodies, issues raised, by stakeholders based on their quest for good governance and a better Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu has sought a re-evaluation of the current global governance structure and the financial healthcare systems, calling for greater equity and inclusion for low-income and emergency economies, particularly in Africa. Tinubu made the call at the 17th meeting of the Global South and the Emerging Economies Bloc BRICS in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. According to a statement issued on Monday by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, Tinubu observed that issues such as environmental degradation, the climate crisis, and healthcare inequalities should receive more attention as they contribute to slowing growth and development. He added that Nigeria supports the BRICS position on the need to focus on collective, fair, and equitable global development. In other stories, the Nigerian Postal Service, NIPOST, has denied reports alleging it accused courier services of being used to transport hard drugs since President Bola Tinubu assumed office. This was contained in a public statement issued by the Director of Corporate Communications at NIPOST, Femi Atoyebi. The agency described the publication as false and misleading, saying it never issued such a statement or associated drug trafficking activities with the current administration. And the federal government has announced a shift from rehabilitation to full-scale reconstruction of key infrastructure, including the aging Carter Bridge and the damaged Ido Bridge, following structural evaluations that revealed major safety concerns. Minister of Works David Umahi made this known during a news briefing after the inspection of the bridges and the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. The minister called for public-private partnerships for funding of both rehabilitation and full reconstruction, as it remains the most sustainable option, which will ease the burden on scarce resources of the government. On the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, the minister says the government has given priority to service lane construction and strategic interchanges to ease traffic and enhance connectivity on the project when completed. Addressing concerns about proposed tolling, the minister defended the plan as necessary for sustainability, adding it is better for Nigerians to pay a token for safe, well-maintained roads than suffer damage and insecurity on dilapidated routes.
It was discovered that it was irredeemable by just the scope of work we had given to Beja. So we had to do a thorough empirical evaluation. We visited about 4 times. And finally, we came to an agreement to remove 3 spans of the Ido Bridge, throw it away, and construct brand new 3 spans, and of course increase the headroom to a minimum of 5.6 meters. And that means we're going to be digging the ground, we're casting the ground, the underpass with concrete, and channeling the water to the lagoon. So we've checked the highest water level at the lagoon, and they checked the invert of our drain. And we've seen that they're compatible, and we've given a go-ahead. Yes, that project is now reviewed from mere rehabilitation of the bond section of the bridge to a major construction. And Beja quoted for us about 7 billion. But after thorough negotiation and discussion, we came to 17 billion. So we also looked at, a major issue on Tomeland Bridge and Kata Bridge. We have been on the investigation of what is happening below the water at Kata Bridge and the Tomeland Bridge. You would have seen the very beautiful work that the president completed on Tomeland Bridge. Of course, we're extending that bridge, the resurfacing to Falamo and where again?
And
Apogbo Bridge too. So we've extended the contract of CCCC so that beauty will cover those sections.
It's time for a short break, but still to come on News Now. Bangladesh lawyers move to stop the murder trial of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our main stories. The Nigerian Army says troops in Plateau State have arrested a suspected bandit planning to mount an attack in the Gashish district of Parkin Laji local government area. This was disclosed in a statement by the spokesman for Operation Safe Haven, Major Samson Zakom, who revealed the suspect, who was in an ambush position along the Kafi Abu Rakwok Road, was intercepted on Sunday night. We also told you that the presidency has counseled members of the coalition to channel their efforts towards the 2031 general election rather than divert energy towards discussions on President Bola Tinubu's prospective second term in 2027. The special advisor to the president on media and communications, Sunday Dare, spoke in Abuja over the weekend while reacting to concerns raised on the potential of the coalition group wresting power from the All Progressives Congress-led government. Just in case you missed any of our news bulletins, or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
how, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Let's switch to business news. Okoyemi Owosheni has the latest. Over to you, Okoyemi.
Thank you, Simi. The Lagos State government has officially announced the second edition of its flagship investment gathering, the Lagos Investment Summit 2.0, scheduled for Wednesday, July 9, 2025. The event will be followed by the Africa Social Impact Summit from July 10th to 11th, both to be held in Lagos. Speaking at a press conference on Monday, the Lagos State Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Folashade Bada Ambrose, described the two summits as among the most strategic gatherings of the year, emphasizing their potential to accelerate Lagos' transformation into a globally competitive 21st century economy. Themed Scaling Action, both solutions towards making Lagos a 21st century economy. The investment summit will convene top-tier investors, policymakers, development institutions, and global business leaders.
This summit is a powerful and strategic platform designed to galvanize meaningful collaborations and catalytic partnerships. It seeks to convene visionary investors, forward-looking policymakers, industry pioneers, global stakeholders, and influential development partners under one roof. Collectively, we will explore innovative solutions to propel infrastructure expansion, pioneer creative financing strategies, bolster entrepreneurial ecosystems, and accelerate digital innovations that collectively fortify Lagos State as the heartbeat of Africa's thriving economy. Our visionary roadmap is designed to reposition our industrial landscape, catalyze productivity, attract targeted investment, enhance global competitiveness, and ultimately transform Lagos State into Africa's premier industrial powerhouse. Therefore, I extend an enthusiastic invitation to visionary investors, innovative entrepreneurs, global corporate leaders, and impactful stakeholders. Lagos State, already acclaimed for its vibrant fintech ecosystem, burgeoning smart city initiatives, and robust digital infrastructure, remains unequivocally open and welcoming for business.
Well, let's now head to Enugu, where Governor Peter Mbaz unveiled the state-owned airline Enugu Air, describing it as a giant leap for the state and a gold standard for government-private sector partnership. The inaugural flight of the state-owned airline took off on Monday, marking a historic moment for the state. Speaking at the launch, Mbaz said the achievement aligned with his administration's vision of transforming Enugu into a premier destination for investment, living, and tourism in Nigeria. Also speaking at the ceremony, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, addressed public concerns about the fate of the Enugu airport, clarifying that the facility was not being sold but concessions to private investors.
Transportation is the lifeblood of any thriving society. It is the artery through which the energy of commerce flows. Like blood carries nutrients through the body, transport connects every vital organ of the society. People to opportunities, goods to market, and to reality by road, air, or rail. Enugu Air, operated by ExeJet, is no flight of fancy. It's among the connecting dots on a large canvas, highlighting our dreams, giving clarity and conviction to our defining goals, achieving a 7-fold GDP growth, and reducing poverty to the barest minimum.
Do not let Enugu Air go the way of the Nigerian Airways. I beg you, run it professionally. Run it professionally. Do not let bureaucracy to kill Enugu Air. Be prompt in your departure, be prompt in your arrival. CEO of Enugu Air, I want to give you a directive. The governor, if you say I should not come out today, if I give this directive, then I should not leave Enugu State. If the governor is 2 minutes late, close the door and take off. If the governor is 2 minutes late, close the door of the aircraft and take off. Doctor, I said, do you support that? He said he supports it. Run it professionally. Do not say, 3 of my friends are coming. They are friends of Enugu. Give them 3 free tickets. No. This one you are clapping today, that will be free ticket. Oh.
Yes, sir.
If you want it to survive, Enugu people, support the airline.
It's time for a short break. We'll be back with update from the stock market. Welcome back. The bulls are consolidating their reign on the Nigerian Exchange Limited this week as the market opened in the bulls, increasing by 0.31%, with the market capitalization at 76.54 trillion naira. Now, 125 listed equities participated in trading, edging on a positive note as 53 stocks advanced and 24 stocks declined. Now, Cadbury Nigeria led the gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 53 naira 35 kobo per share. It was followed closely by Era Lakes, which closed at 8 naira 91 kobo per share. Now, at the end of the first week of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, we see a total of 824 million shares changing hands in 24,042 deals, corresponding to a market value of 14 billion naira. Now, when compared with the previous NGX trading day, that's Friday, July 4th, today's data shows 11% decline in volume and a 6% decline in the number of deals. Now, switching to the global front, major stocks indexes eased as investors awaited the next announcement in the White House trade negotiations, leaving all our major indices in the bears, as you can see from the screen behind me. Now, in the forex market, the naira traded at 1,620 naira to the US dollar, 2,060 naira to the British pound, and 1,730 naira to the euro, holding firm despite ongoing microeconomic challenges. And that's your business and stock market update. Simi, it's back to you for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Wayemi. And in Bangladesh, a high-stakes legal battle is unfolding as court-appointed defense lawyers have moved to dismiss charges against the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who is currently being tried in absentia for alleged crimes against humanity. The 77-year-old is accused of orchestrating a violent crackdown on protesters between July and August last year. The demonstrations, largely driven by students demanding democratic reforms, escalated into a nationwide uprising that eventually forced Hasina to flee the country in August. During Monday's hearing, defense attorneys argued for the dismissal of the case, citing procedural irregularities and accusing the prosecution of pursuing political motivated charges. And Nigeria's Super Falcons have kicked off their 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON campaign in style, cruising to a commanding 3-0 win over Tunisia in their opening group match. The 9-time African champions delivered a performance full of flair and intent, with early goals setting the tone for a match they controlled from beginning to the end. Star forward Asisat Oshoala led the charge with contributions from midfield and defense, reinforcing Nigeria's status as tournament favorites. The win puts Nigeria top of Group B on goal difference ahead of Algeria, who defeated Botswana 1-0. And that's all on news now. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.